Hello, I'm Sunjung. I'm a senior product designer working on the Geo team. And today I'd like to walk you through how to do a UX review when you're assigned as a UX reviewer for the Geo team's UI changes. So one of the most important things that you have to keep in mind is at the moment you cannot use GitLab to view the UI changes, so you have to use the GDK instead. We fortunately have an open issue, and then you can keep track on this issue. And once this issue got closed, then that means we can use Gitpod at some point, but it's not supported for now. So I'm asking here, are you an existing GDK user? If you're not using it, okay, that's great. That you can just go to the next page of this slide deck. But if yes, okay, let's think about how to configure Geo. Do you want to configure Geo on top of your existing GDK? This is one option, but I recommend you just go through the fresh new install that explicitly used for Geo. So that means as an expected outcome would be you will have one GDK that you're currently using, and then you'll have two more GDK, which is dedicated to Geo purpose only. So the first one would be the primary Geo, and then the second one would be the secondary side of the Geo. So I hope this is clear to you so that we can move on to the next page. So these are the steps that you need to do. So it consists of three very simple steps. So the first one is you have to check the dependency. If you're a designer, I'm pretty sure that you're using a Mac OS. So here's the document link that implies like what you need to check in details, but it's pretty simple that you have to have your Git and make installed by default on your computer. And second thing is, since Geo is not available for the free tier user, you have to use the test GDK license. I think most of the team member would have get the key already in your email inbox. So if you check that email inbox by just searching through license, and then you'll see the very long text license key, and then just copy the text and then just put it here in the pasted text area, and this will just automatically add you to the GDK license when you're running the script. So you have to do this first. And then the third step is now running the script. So thanks to our amazing engineers, now we have this one line installation comment. So it's this one here. So you can just copy and paste. And I presume it depending on your machine, but on my machine, I have run through several times, but it's approximately take like 1 hour and a half. So I recommend you just like, you can just run this and then grab lunch and then just grab coffees so that you could just do other things in the meantime. So just please keep in mind this would take some time. And at the very end of the step, this automated script included the geo-rake test, but you might see some error message of, especially it's about the SSH error. It's totally fine to ignore that, and then we are also aware of that. So it's okay if you see those red texts. It's fine. Okay, let's say now installation is done, and then you have to check out the folder after this. Actually, it's not you have to check out, but I'd like to give you some insight, like what is the expected outcome after running the automated script. So let's say you run the script in an empty directory, but this example, I just used the name Geo4. And then if you run like ls, which will show you like which folder and file is underneath this Geo4 directory, and then you'll see those two. Like, of course, you can also give like the primary and secondary geo site with different names, but this is the default name. So I presume that you will see GDK which would serve as the primary geo site, and GDK2 could be served as a geo secondary site. And then they have different port number here. So the local host plus this host would lead you to visit the geo primary site, and then the local host colon to this 3001 port would serve you to the secondary unified URL. So basically what we suggest to use is this one, which is the secondary unified URL one. And then you can sign in. And of course, you know like how to find the GDK credential. So I just also put the link here in case you haven't seen this before. Since you already added your license file, I don't think you wouldn't expect any problem going through this page. So you have to navigate through the admin area and Geo and the sites. So you'll see one dashboard with two sites running. So the first one is the primary site and the second one is the secondary site. I am presuming that you will see some red mark here because it takes some time to replicating the data from primary to secondary. So let's give our GDK some time to load on those data. So it's okay to ignore this red flag here. And there could be some case you also need to review the UI change on the geo replication page, which include the data details of like, okay, this is your data replicating, and this is each data status, what is replicating and what is not replicating. So this is basically the list of the details that Geo supports. And you got assigned to an MR that you need to review something on the list. But there could be some cases like, okay, I just freshly installed my GDK and then I open this link. Okay, there's no data because on GDK you don't have the design file yet. So there could be the case that you will still see some empty screen. In that case, how can you handle it is go back to the Geo site dashboard and then see, okay, if there's no data or if there are some data to load on that it's just taking time. I don't know. So you have, I think it's better to confirm on this, go to the secondary site section, and then you'll see like nothing to synchronize. That means there's no data. If something is already there and then you'll see, okay, the data is replicating and it's also verified, it's fine to see some red sign here because it's just moving on. But when you're, okay, I need to review this design page, but there's nothing there. So in that case, you have to navigate to the primary site, which has a different port. So it's like 3000 here. And then maybe you could just add a random image that you like, some cute things to the issue design management. And then any issue would work. And then you have to wait a bit until the data is replicated, and then like for a couple of minutes and let them do. And then once you come back to the Geo page, and then you will see in the design repository, there is something going here. So then now you're ready to finally review this Geo replication page, which was empty before, but you will see something since you added the design file already on the primary site. And this is small tips and trick to maintain your GDKs if you decided to keep this Geo GDKs. We are using different comments for upgrades, so you cannot use GDK update. You have to make Geo primary update for the primary GDK, so primary Geo GDK, and make secondary update for the secondary GeoJDK. And there could be some cases like it's not running or you cannot access to the app. Of course, the fastest way to go through it is GDK Doctor and check what's happening. And there's geo specific rake tests. So if you copy and paste this bundle exec rake GitLab geo check in both GDK under the GitLab folder by just cd GitLab. And then you'll see some message there. And if you're still not so sure what that means, please reach out to Geo channel, which is our group. And then probably some of engineer will reach out to you or you're replying to like what the error message means. If you're still not so sure how to handle this GeoJDKs, or if you have any trouble or question, please feel free to reach out to me or the GDK Slack channel if you have further questions. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoy exploring the GeoJDKs.